Thank you, Madam Speaker. Would the leader yield?
She indicates she will.
Leader, went through several questions in exec committee, and I appreciate the answers on most of it. They are compiling still a few more answers for me, which I know they will get to me. I did forget to ask a few questions that I would like to try to get on the record today. We've been talking a lot the last few days about the safety and security of the folks in this chamber, their family members that come and visit them, and all of the citizens and visitors that come to the Capitol complex. We hear good news that they will be putting some security cameras and some call phones over in the Stratton's parking deck, but it still leaves the rest of the complex, in my opinion, at a disadvantage. Is there any money in the budget, number one, for the cameras and call phones in the Stratton parking deck? And two, is there any funds that are available to finish what needs to be done at the Capitol complex?
To my knowledge, Representative, there's about $5 million in the Secretary of State's budget that looks to accomplish that very specific goal.
And that would be for the Capitol complex as well?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. To the bill.
To the bill.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I don't know how else to get our point across. We want to work with you. Look at all of the bills that have been bipartisan this year. We work great in committees together. But here we are again with a partisan budget. Never invited to the table. Never asked about our priorities. When we believe that we have some really good ideas that would help this budget. Now, I understand that the budget actually started over in the Senate, which I'm not real happy about. We're the House of Representatives. We should have control of the budget. But that's a topic for another time. When we look at the tax increases that are being placed on our taxpayers, it is becoming too much. We are hearing, and I'll stop for a second.
Representative Laha yields her time.
Thank you. We hear from them that the mounting bills on their tables are beginning to drown them in debt. And here we are adding another $1 billion to that kitchen table. And let's be honest here, we all know about the cliff coming for transit. $785 million next year. And there's talks of service taxes for that. Where does it end? The folks in our districts can't handle this anymore. We are making them make decisions on what they are really wanting to do. Do they buy their medication or do they pay their rent? Do they buy groceries or do they buy their prescription drugs? These are real problems for real people in all of our districts. And we keep placing more and more. When we look at this budget, we can start looking at page 3,301. That is where, and it pains me to say it, all the pork projects start. And I think you know why it pains me to say pork. In those projects as I'm scanning through them, there is not one for any of these folks over here. Not one. How the hell do we have our taxpayers paying for projects in districts they will never see? Our taxpayers deserve the same treatment of being able to look at projects. But how are we supposed to give them to you if you don't bring us to the table? How would you feel? I understand we're in the minority, the super minority, but our job is to hold the majority accountable. That's why I'm bringing up the page that this
Leader.
starts on.
Representative Santilitro yields her time.
It's not fair. I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb and say it's very close to being disrespectful. Not only to us, but to the taxpayers that gave us the honor of sitting in these seats. When you hear us cry out, yell out, we're here to work with you, I wish you would believe us. We do it on so much. When you have one party rule doing things, it usually doesn't come out good. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's late, but when we have these types of bills coming at this hour in the morning, and then we have a clock saying it's going to limit how much time we have, that's another problem. Why didn't we wait and do this tomorrow and give us a lot more time to go through this stuff? Because guess what? Some of the headlines across the state of Illinois are now going to say, in the dark of night, $1 billion tax increase. We're better than that. The taxpayers deserve better than that. I'm obviously, unfortunately, going to be a no today. But a lot of it is because, number one, the huge tax increases. Number two, because what takes place on page 3,301. And don't think that the media is going to pick up on that now. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's do better next year.